Hi everybody, Luke Filmboss here, and assuming that you're watching this video on the day of its upload, today is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom! In this video I will be talking about my mom's 3 favorite films, or at least her 2 favorite films and another film that I know used to be her favorite. So with that, let's get into it. In the number 3 spot we have The Princess Bride. If you haven't seen or at least heard about this film, then you're probably living underneath a rock. Although this movie didn't do very well on its initial release in the box office, over its lifetime of VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray sales, it's probably accumulated a pretty hefty profit, and it's impacted the life of so many people. A lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for this film. It has such great characters, such good chemistry between the characters, and such quotable lines. Also, it takes the premise and the story of the book and kind of shrinks it a little bit so that it's not going over all of the strenuous details about everything that's going on. It just sticks to the character and the story, and it really makes for one of the most beloved and probably to most people one of the most entertaining movies of all time, including my mom. And I just don't know what to say. This movie, I'm not going to say invented the modern day fantasy, but I will say without this movie, I don't know if we would have such good movies as The Lord of the Rings or The Chronicles of Narnia. And speaking of The Chronicles of Narnia, that brings us to our second film. In the number 2 spot, we have The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This movie used to be my mom's number 1 pick, and so is The Princess Bride before this film came out, but it has dropped to number 2 since then. But this film is still pretty great, and I can understand why it's one of my mom's favorite films, because there's just so much to love about this movie. The characters, the creatures, the set design such as the castles, the landscapes, and the music scores. Almost everything about this film is pretty great and excellent filmmaking, especially for a fantasy. It captures what fantasies are about, all the creatures, the lore, everything. But what I think really resonates with my mom about this story and the movie is the fact that the main characters are teenagers and children, and the fact that she's a mother who raised her own children, and most of them being teenagers now. A story like that will really resonate with her. Also, the fact that this movie has a lot of Christian messages, the main one that everyone knows being the fact that Aslan's death for Edmund, who was guilty and deserving of death, that's a representation of how Jesus died on the cross for all of us who didn't deserve to be saved, but Jesus did it. And the fact that this movie tells that story, whether the filmmakers were conscious of it or not, is pretty great. And that does add to why my mom does love this story, not just the movie but the book also, is because of all the Christian meanings behind it. And it's just, there's so much to love. Great movie. I would recommend it to everyone. In the number 1 spot is The Day After Tomorrow. I think everybody has that movie that they can just put in and watch whenever they're feeling down, bored, or sick, to just cheer themselves up. And for my mom, that movie is The Day After Tomorrow. Now, this movie is a pretty basic disaster film about global warming creating a new ice age. But what really gets you involved in this movie is its human characters, the father-son dynamic relationship between Jake Gyllenhaal's character as the son and Dennis Quaid's character as the father. This is just a journey for the father to find his son because they're separated by miles of space, and the father is just trying to get to his son, and his son is just fighting to survive. And then you have all the side characters who just play off of our main characters so well with good chemistry and humor. And it just makes for a very entertaining film. But what really makes this movie good, and what I think is enjoyable about this film, is that while yes, there's a lot of casualties, like in most action-adventure disaster films, in the end, it's a happy ending for our main characters, and that's just a satisfying feeling. I don't think there's any better feeling than a happy ending especially in a disaster movie, because you have so much death and so much disaster, but then in the end, you just see that silver lining, you see the clear, and it's all good. Between our characters, the tension in their relationship is resolved, and they're both reunited, along with all of the other side characters, and it's just a very satisfying conclusion. And I think that's why my mom likes this above all other movies, is because it's an exhilarating ride from beginning to end, and it leaves you the most satisfied. Of course, I'm not the only one who wants to wish my mom a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, honey.
Hi, Mother. Have a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom. Hope you're having a great day.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Once again, happy birthday, Mom. I hope you enjoyed the video because it's for you. For everyone who's watching, I would really appreciate it if you all would type happy birthday down in the comments for my mom, and I'll see all of you later.